What's up, everybody? I'm Yogi Chris. This is a stream about the Los Angeles Gathering, also a free public lecture, but you're really only going to catch that if you're here live right now on the stream because it's tonight, so you'll miss it. Maybe it'll get posted somewhere, so look for that. Of course, if you're on my newsletter, that's a sure way to know and receive the recording if the recording. Hold on, I need to close this screen. Okay, so a couple things. First, at some point, housemate's going to walk his girlfriend by. I'll probably dim my voice and kind of stop talking. So if you hear in the recording that like I pause for a little bit, give it a second. Second, yeah, getting on the newsletter. I think the link is everywhere that I post this except on TikTok because I don't have a link there. But you can DM this account and get on the newsletter. I send out lecture notes, send out video, unlisted videos that get, that we don't post publicly, but they're also not exclusive like paid stuff. They're not private. So unlisted stuff, I email exclusives out like that. And I think that's all I was going to say there. So we're going to Los Angeles this week. I'm captain of IMC Nation. Quick intro. I live at Base 1 with AZD, IMC Base 1, Stoic Temple here in San Jose, California. Oh, it didn't. Also, that was the third thing. I'm trying to get TikTok to work on this other device. It was okay. I'm just going to log in. Actually, just loaded. So I'm going to log in. Username. This is for the AZD. I'll give it a sec. Actually, I'll pause the recording for y'all to save you. Okay, we got the other TikTok going. So resuming the recording here. I don't know exactly my last statement, but we're going to Los Angeles this weekend with AZD. Oh, I'm Yogi Chris. I live with AZD, founder of IMC Nation. And he's here. That's what these accounts are. The Bible of Arash TikTok, AZD_IMC TikTok, even the Facebook groups we're going to. May the Frame be with you. IMC Nation's Brotherhood of the Wolf, which I'm not streaming to actually. I'm streaming to May the Frame. So those are all AZDs. I mean, he doesn't run them, but they're in his name. They're formed because he formed IMC Nation, and that's what this is all happening here. Is IMC Nation. The testimonies that we post, I'm running IMC from this side of the pond. There's another guy on the other side of Atlantic in Germany. He's running a lot with IMC Nation. And it's basically us two. And then there's other people, many people that really organize many things. For example, we have 7 bases. These are bases where 3 to 7 individuals are living together, but averaging 4 or 5 per house. And more on the way. There's other unofficial bases where guys are living together, but they don't have any what are called officers, IMC Nation officers in those bases. So they're not really in any way a sanctified base, but they are IMC guys living together. And then we have 7 sanctified bases where there's officers that live at these bases, high-ranking guys in IMC Nation that have been around for a while. They're trusted. They've been to advanced trainings. So they're also trusted to be representing the tech. And they've come and lived at base 1 for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, sometimes months, in Shamir's case and probably someone else's case. That, not only are they advanced in the tech and how to communicate, deliver, understand what people are saying, especially women, but, it's going to bleed over into all things. Guys are trying to get good with women, but they're not trying to be good with other guys, with older people, with kids, with their family. Like they're trying to avoid all those other things. They just want the pussy. And really, if you're going to be good at it in the long term, which we'll know because you have long-term pre-selection, especially relationships, girls that have been around for a while, that continue to trust you. For example, the opposite. If girls leave a lot, then there's something happening. Like if we were aliens observing a guy and he was getting a bunch of chicks, but the chicks never stuck around more than 3 months. They would go 1 week to 3 months and they would all bolt after 3 months. And we're fast forwarding through this guy's life and we're seeing the girls come around, but they leave. It'd be one thing if you saw a man. I'm seeing this in my mind, like from top down, and you're seeing the man and he's not moving. He's like a stationary object, the center of the solar system, the sun. And these women, they come near and they leave, and he doesn't move, and they come near and they leave, but they stick around for a little bit. First, let's take the case of they don't even stick around. You're looking top down on this guy, and women, they get close, but they repel. Maybe not even that many women, but like occasionally there's a woman in the vicinity and they repel. He has no pre-selection. He's not attracting any women. Then you see a woman top down come and they attract and they stick together. And while they're stuck together, other women come in vicinity, but they repel, they repel, they repel. So he's got one woman, but he's repelling other women. Then that woman he's with breaks his heart, she repels. Over time, maybe he gets better with women. Most guys, as we communicate with the TikTokers, they get worse and worse with women. More jaded, which is a gay word to use for a guy. More traumatized, which is really gay to use for a guy when it comes to women. Unless when you were a little boy, little boy, mom or some woman abused you. Okay, then you were a kid. But like beyond that, you know, being traumatized by women. And I'm saying I had that. I was doing a bunch of drugs, broke up with the girl was robbing me, doing all kinds of shit that, you know, but I was traumatized more by my own terrible decisions that I allowed to affect me. I was an adult. Like, it's not a woman traumatized me. And you got to get over that at some point. But that's where most guys are. Some guys, they get a little bit better by external measurement of they continue getting more women. And so you see a guy, you're looking down alien perspective, and women are coming through and they're repelling. At some point at the player level of things, the guys are getting a lot of women. Like, what, I don't know what a lot is, but let's say more than 5 a year, honestly, is like a level of player these days. That's not an impressive player. I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but let's say he's getting 5 new women a year, and they're at least desirable enough that you would probably get with them. You know, that's more than average guys are. You know, that's like probably top 10, maybe 5% of guys getting, maybe a guy in his best year of living has gotten 5 women. But let's say he's pretty consistent, he's regular with it. He's a player. That's a player. And the women, they come, but they leave after 1 to 3 months. We're looking down at this guy from alien perspective. They come, they leave. They come, they leave. My determination, my conclusion is that man, there's something wrong with that man in his character, that the women keep leaving after 3 months. He can't keep the woman in his orbit for more than 1 to 3 months. What's wrong with that? I don't know what's inside his head. I'm an alien. I don't even know what he's doing wrong, because human mating is different than, other mating. But I can see that everywhere there's most people, guys and girls, eventually they mate up, or the guy keeps pursuing a girl to try to mate up. Maybe he never mates. Women, much, much less than men, it's fair to say, much less than men, will die virgins by consensual sex. Meaning, she's gonna bond up at some point because she's attracting men. Many more men will die mateless than women. So, by observation, the men are more pursuing relationships. And they're sticking together. We see by majority, or the largest represented group of people, they get in relationships and they stick together for like 2 to 5 years or something. Maybe they break up, but we seem to see that people, they go for these like 2 to 5, 2 to 8 year relationships. And so the guy, we're looking down at him, and women after women, they come around for 1 to 3 months and then they leave. My conclusion is there's something defective. There's something outstanding about this guy because he keeps getting more women, but there's something defective here because he can't keep any women. And I, as a player, and us as players in IMC Nation, can see there's something off about the guy. Now, that's why I was saying earlier, a minute ago, there's something interesting about if the guy he keeps his center. He doesn't get wobbly. He doesn't move. There's still something wrong with his character that he can't keep any women around, but he's not losing himself. Now, that's going to be so rare. A man that's so distracted by his own purpose, he's on purpose his whole life, that the woman, she comes around, tries to manipulate, leaves because she can't manipulate him, and he doesn't get bent out of shape. He doesn't lose his balance. Okay, but eventually, we know the female code, some woman is going to stick around that. When he doesn't fall for her manipulations and he stays centered, stable, sturdy, strong, some woman is going to actually, no, she was trying to manipulate him. He didn't get manipulated. He stayed strong. That's the best option for me, because I do want a relationship, and hundreds of guys have interacted with my life, thousands, tens of thousands, maybe some women. And that's never happened where a man stayed strong even when I pulled back, or I left, or I went the other way, or I threatened this or that with my language. So if a man is not keeping any woman around, years, not keeping any woman around, then there's something faulty in the character there. And why am I saying all of this? Because there's a lecture tonight with Arash Tibazar, AZD. Some of you, this is Bible of Arash. So Arash is the guy with all the face tattoos, with all the popular clips. My staff chops up his free lectures, puts some, good sound bites out there. Truth bombs, I call them. Same with over here, AZD _IMC. So AZD is Arash. Saying that's the A is Arash. AZD goes by. Stoic Temple, we're streaming to on YouTube. Shout out to Jordan Amari, who keeps growing that channel, posting clips of Arash. So I'm streaming to you because I'm Yogi Chris. I run all the advanced trainings. I don't feel right saying I run IMC Nation, but from the top down, I do. It's the advanced trainings that keep enticing and showing and getting people to shine. And that's what keeps pulling people into the feeder program, which is AZD's Mastermind University. That's the daily morning class, $97. So you guys can sign up for that. I recommend guys only. Tonight, though, is a free public lecture. I don't know that I can stream it. I don't know that I will stream it even if I can. But guys and girls can show up to that. So everybody on all of these accounts can DM. The Instagram we're streaming to can DM. And it's about relationships. He's #1 relationship coach on earth. That's why I'm talking about relationships. I happen to be good at many other things, but relationships is where I trump almost everybody outside of AZD. And it's because I've been learning from AZD. The guy's had so many multiple relationships for many, many years. When you add up all the years of being in relationships, successful relationships with beautiful women, loyalty, dedication, going in business together, really so much trust that women, they would love to have, if they, aside from multiple women, because a lot of women, they'll have a knee-jerk reaction to that. So just take any of his top relationships, a woman knowing just some ins and outs about that one and just taking that one by itself would want that relationship with her man, maybe not with AZD, but with a man. That's the kind of relationship that she'd want. Then take in the fact that AZD's had multiple of those simultaneously for many years and builds new ones. Some we see let go. I've lived with him for 3.5 years now. So personally, plus I studied him for like eight years. So personally, I've seen girls get lost, or there's a lot of double meanings in that when you think about it. Get lost, like he got rid of girls or girls left or whatever, but they were tight relationships, maybe even living with them at some point. Like I've seen them come and go. I've seen him pick up living with them. I've seen him pick up new women, find women, and build relationships with them. It's the real deal. Multiple. So he has multiple. That's how many. And they're loyal, clean, obedient, talk right, and at different levels of on their own personal female entrepreneurial journey, doing it clean, not selling themselves to men, even if it's in the form of whatever you're doing. You're a tax accountant, you're selling yourself to men. If you're pretty, you get business by selling your looks to the man. If you're a waitress, you're selling your looks will get you more tips. If you're whatever you are, if you're a school teacher, you got the job because you were prettier. If you're pretty, you'll get the job better. You'll get a better paying position. You'll get a better job. You'll get given the bigger class, the better class, whatever it is that you want, you'll get more of it if you're pretty. Now, do that. That's fine. But you're selling yourself to men if you're doing that to men. If you're doing that to women, then look at that. The women are looking up to the woman. You're so beautiful. That's a woman's looking up to that if she wants that for herself, and she does, because she'll do better in life, as I just explained. She'll get a lot of advantage and favoritism for being good looking. I'm not hating the game. That's the game. Just like don't hate the player. So if we know how to have multiple relationships by showing to woman A that woman B is improving and showing to woman B that woman A is incredible and look at what she was like when I met her. And then show them woman C is now getting attracted. And they're all like, well, damn, my value keeps going up with this guy. Her value keeps going up with this guy. I'm getting better at handling my life more than people don't even know how badly they're handling life. Let's be fair. People don't know how suppressed they are by their family, schoolmates. Man, just be a guy trying to learn pickup in college. And you would think all the guys are so pussy thirsty. Or they're so interested in that, at least. They may not be thirsty. Most of them are, but some may not be. But they'll be so suppressive when you try to learn the skills of getting lots of women. They will be suppressive. They'll hate on it. Just like if you tell them, here's a test of if we're on a prison planet. Tell anybody about the dream you had last night. 9 out of 10 people will somehow make you feel wrong for sharing your dream with them. Very few individuals know how to acknowledge your dream that it was fantasy when you were asleep, to acknowledge your dream as real or interesting or fascinating, or you may get somebody trying to psychoanalyze it, but they'll invalidate it while they psychoanalyze it. You're not going to get 1 out of 10 people might validate your dream. That's how suppressive everybody is. It's just a dream. Why do they got to cut it down? Why do they got to ignore it or claim, in any way? Now tell them about your dreams in real life, your visions, your goals. You'll get validation if it agrees with their vision for you, their goals for you. But if you have any unique vision or dream of your own, 1 out of 10 maybe won't be suppressive. That's a suppressive planet. You're on a suppressive planet. And women of beauty, man, that's why hoe culture is a thing, because women depend on opinions of others. But primary, first and foremost, she depends on her man's opinion. And if she doesn't have a man, then she doesn't depend on his opinion. And if she has a bitch of a man or a beta man or a younger man or a weak man or a low value man, then she doesn't care about his opinion. But if she's with a high value man, that she, in her valuation, is higher value than her, then she cares about his opinion more than anybody. And the more she looks up to him, the more she doesn't care about other people's opinions. Because that's really what she's programmed to do. And it's not programmed meaning like genetically. I didn't write the program. I don't hate the game. You got to be so high value. And the primary way to show that you're high value is show that other women are improving for a long time. That's why I say at the beginning, 1 to 3 months. Go 6 months. Go 6 years. Shit. Go 60 years. But we haven't seen that yet. AZD's up to 18 years with multiple relationships. For the long term, not this hoe culture, not Dan Billionaire. Dan Billionaire gets a bunch of hoes and maybe he's had 1 or 2 for some years, and that's better than like shit, 99.99% of the planet. That's great. But when money and mansions are what it takes, that's not what AZD's doing, dude. We live like monks here. Let's be real. We don't have any beds in this place. And we haven't. People come and stay residents. Like Josiah has been living here for 2 weeks. And he's not the first. He's like the 45th guy that's come and lived here for 2 weeks or more. We don't even have beds for them. They sleep on the floor. We all sleep on the floor, dude. And he's got multiple relationships with 9s and 10s. So you're going the wrong way if you think you're going to get your money in order before you get it right. You're going to get that job. You're going to finish your education before you get it right with women. All you're going to do, the reality is, all you're going to do is learn a bunch of wrong habits. Sales is going to be the most related, but it's still not going to get you better at relating with women, but it's going to be the closest at, being able to talk. But when I see real estate, man, 99% of salesmen still can't talk to women at all. And even the 1%, they're not players like AZD. He's got the ethics that makes multiple relationships work. That's why I have multiple relationships. Other guys in IMC Nation have multiple relationships. It's effortless when you have the right mentality, when you think right about it. When you think right about the woman's role for you, and you stop having false expectations on her or wrong expectations that make her destabilize and just wrong. They take her out of her femininity. You got to have right ideas. And that's what AZD teaches. Tonight is free. It's a free public lecture, 7 p.m. Pacific. To get the link, you just DM the account. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can DM me. YouTube, you should be on the newsletter. The link is there. Facebook, the link is there for the newsletter. So I don't give it out on the newsletter either. You have to reply to the email. Just for a lot of open classes, I just send out the link. But tonight's is not that. And it's at 7 p.m. Pacific. Guys and girls will be on. Over 100 people definitely are going to be on. You're going to get a chance to see a lot of reactions to how AZD talks to men and women. Some of his girlfriends will be on. You'll fuck yourself in the ass if you try to message them or whatever. But you just get blocked, and then you won't be on Zooms anymore. And that's your loss. I have found it's a much greater benefit to learn from AZD than to try to message one of his girlfriends. I haven't even learned that. I've learned that through observation and just knowing what I know. I've never tried to message his girlfriend. I'm just saying, whatever would cause a person to message the girlfriends, you're missing out on a lot more by not just studying AZD. You'll get a bunch of girlfriends of your own. Just what it is. So later, I'll be posting this recording. So we are going to Los Angeles twice a month, every month. So we're going there this weekend. Guys on TikTok or wherever, if you're seeing this right now, if you're in the LA area, hit me up. AZD and 5 of us rent a big Suburban, drive down there. We have a couple bases down there with guys. We also rented a big Airbnb in Hollywood because we have good relationship with those people. They give us a great deal. And it's very, very nice. Looks over, man, great view. Whew, it's going to be fun. And so we go there, meetings, you'll see private moments. That's an advanced technique that he shares that people, display their private moments. And, we get feedback and people evolve that way. We'll be going out, a couple strip clubs or whatever we end up getting ourselves into. And there's going to be some incredible interactions. AZD is really a champ at all kinds of interactions, homeless people, celebrities, and everything in between, So I've given my piece. I'll end the recording part of this. And then, we have a bunch of people streaming. So if you got Q&A, that's part of the value of showing up live. Like, you don't get to hear all that on the recording. So go ahead and type it out if you have any questions or feedback. And hopefully I'll see you guys join the newsletter if you're catching the recording. And I'll see you around sometime. Os. Jay Guru Dev. Praise the Lord.